Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how you are not for everybody. And what I mean by that is sometimes we want to be for people. Sometimes we want to be for all people. And we can be for all people, but sometimes we are not the right people. Sometimes your energy does not mesh well with certain people, certain places, and it could be really hard when you're someone who is very loving and giving and you want things to work out a certain way, you want to be around a certain group of people, and you just find that it's just not working. I find that in this world, being a giver and a people pleaser, it can be really hard to find our way. I'm coming out of a season where I was such a giver and I was so sacrificing and always trying to prove myself to people. And I've had to learn some really harsh lessons about how it doesn't matter if you do all of those things. Some people are just not right for you. And there are certain seasons for certain people. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a lesson that I find myself really having to take my time with, simply because of how giving and loving I actually really am. And I've had to realize that I might want to be for a group of people, but maybe it's not meant for me to be for that group of people. Maybe I'm not destined to be for that group of people because that group of people won't appreciate me, they won't accept me, they won't understand me. So we got to understand that when we try to be for everybody, we're being nothing to ourselves in return. We're neglecting ourselves in return simply because we're not distributing our energy in a way that is beneficial for us. And so if you're someone who is very giving and loving and you want to be for everybody, you got to understand that in this world you can't be for everybody, and everybody is not for you, and that's okay. And so I've had to learn to have peace with that, and I've had to learn to trust in God, the universe, whatever you specifically believe in. I've had to learn how to trust and not get in the way of what God's plans are for me, because we can try to control so much about where we want to be and who we want to be with and where, like, what group of people we want to be around, and sometimes it just does not work. And so I have had to deal with relationships falling apart that I didn't necessarily want to fall apart. God pulled those relationships out of my life, and it was very heartbreaking for me. And I had to go through a season of purging out all the emotions and attachments that I had to these people. And it doesn't mean that you just completely ice people out, but you gotta kind of discern which people are for you and which people are not. And so what I've struggled with is being able to discern which people are for me and which people are not, because I get different types of energies. And if you are someone who is a very abundant person, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. There's envy, there's jealousy, there's animosity, there's all these different things out there in the world that we can find ourselves coming across, and that could be very difficult for somebody who is just starting to navigate that type of energy. And I'm just going to be honest, it's been very difficult for me. And so what I've learned is to not make it super complicated, to trust in God and let God work. Just trust and let God bring the right people into my life instead of just trying to force connections that are not meant for me. This has saved me so much time. This has saved me so much energy. It's given me so much peace on my journey instead of trying to do God's work and be for everybody. Yes, I'm loving. Yes, I'm kind. But the right energies will come to my life that will appreciate me for who I am. And even through that, I have had to be okay with relationships that came to a dead end. And that could be hard for someone who is genuinely wanting to work with someone and partner with someone. I've experienced this with a best friend. I had a best friend of 10 years where we kind of just stopped talking. I experienced this with relationships where I've poured and gave my all to relationships and it just didn't work out. I've experienced this with family members. So it's a reoccurring thing that I've dealt with, and I'm trying to step out of that season. So I hope that this message can encourage you and let you know that it's okay if you're in a season where you feel like you're sad or you're heartbroken, because you're not for everybody. Your energy is for a specific group of people, and you got to be able to discern. And it could be really hard when you're first navigating that discernment, but after a while you start to understand why you have to move the way you move. Because when you start moving different for your own benefit, not in a evil or bad way, but in a way where you're protecting your energy, it can be a very tough transition. It can be very hard to navigate being a certain way, and with that can come the guilt. And so the guilt of not trying to be for everybody, the guilt of moving differently, not trying to get real, you know, certain, like really close to certain people where your discernment kicked in and said, okay, this person's not really good for me here, but they might be good for me with this little, you know, little access, and they might be good for me with this little access. It's like you have to learn how to navigate that, and that could be difficult. And I'm in that season where it's difficult for me, and instead of having the trust issues and trying to panic and try to figure it all out on your own, it's best to just trust in the universe and trust that things are working out for you. And don't get caught up in the details and get distracted in those little energies, because that's what I find myself doing. I find myself getting caught in the details of like, why isn't this person talking to me? These are the distractions that keep you from moving forward, and that keep you stuck, and that keep you from your happiness. Why isn't this person talking to me? Why is this person giving me this certain energy? Why is this? And so these thoughts come in my head, and it just closes me off, right? So it can close you off and keep you guarded, like, okay, I don't want to really rock with that. I don't really want to rock with that. But instead of just being guarded and stopping your happiness, it's good to be guarded to a certain extent, but if it's guarded to the point where it's stopping your happiness, that's where you have to kind of differentiate the two. What makes you happy? Why? How are you stopping that happiness? And you got to just kind of get clear, because you can get really distracted in your mind dealing with certain type of people and certain type of energies, wondering why and getting caught up in the details instead of looking at the big picture, that this person just might be for you. You know, just might not be for you. And that's what I had to learn. And to not close myself off because of other people, but to protect myself in a healthy way, in a healthy fashion. And I'm learning that, but it's a process. It's a process. It's about taking your time with it. We are all work in progresses here, and one thing about my channel, I want to be straightforward and honest about my journey and my wisdom and where I'm at and where you could possibly be. I'm not really with the riffraff, and I'm not really with the dressing it up and making it look good. Honestly, I'm really just coming on here because this is authentically coming from my heart, and this is what I've been struggling with, but this is also what I have learned through the process. And maybe this can help you too through your journey, is just to make sure that you discern. And it doesn't mean that you need to panic or be paranoid. It just means that maybe a certain group of people might not be for you, or maybe this person's not for you, and that's okay. Don't try to fit in. When you try to fit in, you're dimming your light, because I guarantee you, all these people in the world, and this is a good one, all these people in the world, and you're sitting here worried about what this person is not doing and how this person is not appreciating you. I guarantee you that it's somebody out there who appreciates you for your light, for your personality, for what you have to offer, for your energy. I promise you. And that's what I got to continue to tell myself, is I got to stay in that abundant mindset and not the scarcity. The scarcity is the mindset that keep you stuck and that keep you distracted and pulled towards the details that don't really matter. But really, it's the abundance. You got to think bigger. And so that's what I've had to break out of. Like, think bigger. It's not about this person giving you a certain type of energy. It's really about you embodying the energy that you want to be in the energy that makes you the happiest. And the right people will flock to you. Why don't you let them flock to you? You know? But when you block it out and you try to be for everybody, and you're ignoring the red flags, and you just still trying to show up, it's to your own detriment. You can't keep showing up to a place where you're not appreciated, because then you'll stop seeing your own light. You'll stop seeing your own appreciation and all the qualities that you need to be thankful for, all the qualities that make you uniquely you. It'll be something where it'll stop you from actually pursuing your own path, because you are so engulfed in an environment that's not conducive to your growth. And again, this is something that I'm learning, and like, I'm talking to you guys, but I'm talking to myself, because I really need to hear this message, because this is a process for me too. We're all in this together. Like, I want this to be a community where we could be vulnerable and honest and learn from each other. I've never been the type of person to just close you off or whatever because of certain positions. No, I'm very open-minded. If you have some value to share, definitely drop it down in the comments below, and drop down purple hearts, because I just got through walking my dog, and I had saw like this purple star balloon in the bushes, and I pulled it out and I let it fly. I let it fly in the sky. It's so crazy, but I'm being drawn to the color purple. So drop down some purple hearts in the comments below if you agree with this message, and I would love to hear from you and like what you have to say about the topic. And just know that, look, you're appreciated somewhere. Go where you are appreciated and not where you are tolerated. There's so many other people out here waiting to see your light, waiting to see your shine. Stop trying to fit in. You are not for everybody. You're not meant to be for everybody. You're only meant to be for the right people. And make sure that you are being very attentive to your needs, your happiness, what you need, because only your life can come from you. I know we can get really wrapped up in other people, and like I said, the distractions. We can get wrapped up in other people's paths, other people's journeys. Over the course of the past 5 years, what I can say is I've been distracted time and time again. And we can keep being in a cycle where we are distracted. But eventually it comes to a point where you get wise, you gain wisdom, and you can't operate the same way you used to operate before. Now you know better. So once you know better, you just simply have to do better. So I really hope this message helped you. And this is just a quick, light message just to help you on your path and on your journey. If you find yourself in a position where you feel like you're not being appreciated, where you feel like you're trying to be everything to everyone, and you just simply can't, and you just got to sit back and woosah and be at peace with who you are and what you have to offer, because that'll give you a life of less stress, less burden. It's very healing to be in this energy after being so worked up with so many different people and so many different energies. I would say delegate your energy so that you are not struggling and you are not giving constantly from an empty cup and you don't have anything left for yourself. Let people appreciate you. Let people love you for who you are. And this is definitely something I need to hear too. So I'm speaking to myself as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next.